Welcome to Driving the Dragon. I'm Mark Andrews, author of the book Driving the Dragon, which charts the rise of the Chinese car industry through my experience test driving cars in China from 2007. The biggest news this week is, of course, the Beijing Auto Show, which opened on Friday. And when I say big, the exhibition space alone is 380,000 square meters. There are meant to be 1,451 cars on display, 181 debuts and 71 concepts. This show, however, covers the week beginning April the 20th. And throughout the week, there have been a lot of events in the run-up to the opening of the Beijing show, with new cars being shown by manufacturers wanting to get all the headlines for themselves. Obviously, in the show, I can't cover every one of those debuts. Please let me know what you would like me to cover in next week's show, and I will see if I can try and cover some of those cars that you want. Anyway, in the meantime, I hope you enjoy, show your appreciation by liking, and press that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more news regarding the Chinese car market. Unlike the format of previous shows, I'm going to delve in straight away with the news about the show, and then we'll go on to launches of some cars, including the Avatr 06T, the Aito M6, and the Luxeed V9, which all launched during the week. BYD showcased its Ocean V concept to the Beijing Auto Show as a radical vision for future family mobility, and it's not easy to classify. Rather than fitting into a traditional segment, it's designed as a mobile life cube, something between an SUV, an MPV, and a lounge space. The design follows BYD's next-generation ocean aesthetics language, with a smooth, flowing exterior that feels both organic and futuristic, deliberately departing from conventional car proportions. Inside, the cabin is fully reconfigurable with multiple modes, a standard driving setup, a cinema mode in which the steering wheel retracts and a large screen deploys, and a camping mode in which the seats fold into a bed-like layout. There are also unusual features, such as detachable jellyfish speakers and lighting units that can be used both inside and outside the car, emphasizing lifestyle use rather than just transport. We'll have to see though whether a production model will grow from this concept. The BYD Sealion 08 debuted at the Beijing Auto Show as the brand's new flagship SUV in the Ocean lineup, positioned above the Sealion 07 and targeting the premium large SUV segment. It's a full-size model measuring 5,115mm in length with a wheelbase of 3,030mm. Width is 1,999mm and height is 1,800mm. It's available in both 6- and 7-seat configurations. The Sealion 08 adopts BYD's latest Ocean Aesthetics 2.0 design language, featuring slim dual-layer headlights and a smooth aerodynamic body. The car features rear-wheel steering and the Denza Z body control system based on dual-chamber air suspension. There will be both PHEV and all-electric versions. Data on these seems to vary widely by source. However, the all-electric range appears to be 900 km, 559 miles, for the all-electric version, while the PHEV's all-electric range is 400 km, 249 miles. Overall, the Sealion 08 is positioned as a high-tech flagship SUV, combining long-range, fast charging, and strong performance in a package aimed squarely at the upper end of the mainstream EV market. The Denza Z, which perhaps should be pronounced Denza Z, debuted at the Beijing Auto Show as a convertible version of the earlier coupe concept. It features a 2+2 layout and will be available in coupe, convertible and track versions. The soft-top version, which folds the roof into the rear trunk, took the stage in Beijing. It uses a tri-motor all-wheel drive system with over 1,000 horsepower and a claimed 0 to 100 km/h, 0 to 62 mph time of under 2 seconds. The car is based on BYD's E3 platform and features four-wheel torque vectoring, steer-by-wire and Denza M magnetorheological suspension for active chassis control. It's believed the global debut will be at the Goodwood Festival of Speed in the UK in July, and the Denza Z will launch in Europe before it does in China. For those with long enough memories, this is not the first convertible from BYD and follows the infamous S8. Furthermore, it wasn't the only sports car on display from BYD. Fang Cheng Bao showcased the Formula X as the brand's first true supercar and a follow-up to the Super 9 concept. Although the Formula X is a concept, it previews a production version set to launch next year. The design follows the golden ratio in its proportions and claims to adopt a cheetah's stance. It features a carbon fibre aerodynamic body with scissor doors, an active rear spoiler and 19 air vents for cooling and airflow management. Power comes from a tri-motor electric setup producing around 1,000 horsepower and 1,000 Nm of torque, with a claimed 0 to 100 km/h, 0 to 62 mph time of under 2 seconds. Inside, it adopts a driver-focused battle cockpit layout with physical controls, a retractable steering wheel, integrated sports seats, and a 4-point harness. Overall, it's a high-performance halo model that combines extreme output with a track-focused design, signalling Fang Cheng Bao's shift away from its usual off-road SUV focus. That move was echoed by 3 other cars displayed by BYD at the Fang Cheng Bao brand stand. The new road-focused models, the S, SL and SGT, mark the brand's entry into high-performance electric sedans and wagons. All 3 sit on the same 800-volt platform, use a tri-motor all-wheel drive setup with about 1,000 horsepower, and feature D-M magnetic suspension. They also share similar dimensions, with a 3,100mm wheelbase and an overall length exceeding 5 meters. The differences are mainly in positioning and body style. The S is the core model, a slow-slung, sporty sedan positioned as a direct rival to cars such as the Porsche Taycan. The GT is essentially the same car underneath, but with a shooting brake or wagon-style body that prioritizes practicality and cargo space while maintaining the same performance focus. At the top of the range is the SL, a more premium version of the sedan. It features a more sculpted exterior, redesigned bumpers, and distinctive details such as gold-finished 21-inch wheels to set it apart visually and position it as the lineup's flagship. Chery also had a packed stage full of new products and concepts. Although Chery calls the Tiggo X a concept, the large SUV is obviously near production ready and measures over 5 meters in length. Chinese website Autohome believes the top-of-the-range car will be powered by the 2.0T based Kunpeng PHEV system with 350 kilowatts, 469 horsepower and 630 Nm of torque. Autohome also states the car comes with the Snow Leopard 4-wheel drive system and an MRC electromagnetic suspension system. Other powertrains are reportedly an ICE version using the same engine and a hybrid version, possibly based around a 1.5T engine. Inside the car on display, there was a white leather interior and a 15.6-inch central screen. As displayed, the car was a 5-seater, although Auto Industria claims there will also be a 6-seat version. Expect a production version in about a year. Also on the main Chery stand was the Arrizo S concept. Like the Tiggo X, Chery is calling this a concept, but it clearly shows a near-production ready mid to large size sedan. Power reportedly comes from a 2.0T engine with a maximum of 192 kilowatts, 257 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. The car will come with the Falcon driving assistance system, supported by a powerful computer that crunches data, enabling smart driving in scenarios including urban areas, highways, country roads and parking lots. Chery claims this can all be done with 0 takeovers during the process. It's possible that the production version will be called the Arrizo 9, fitting in at the top of Chery's current Arrizo sedan lineup. Expect a production version within a year. The Fulwin sub-brand, which focuses on PHEV models, showcased the A9L GT and A9 wagon. Both are wagon or estate versions of the Chery Fulwin A9L and A9 sedans. They appear nearly production ready, and at least one may go on sale within the next 6 months. However, having two such cars is surprising, as the market in Chery for such cars is not large. This perhaps indicates that the cars will be aimed more at export markets. Chery's Exeed brand was a standout in terms of new metal on display. Most eye-catching was the X-Concept, which appears to be a futuristic visualization of MPV-style robotaxi. Notably, there are no controls, and the whole concept is quite stark, consisting only of 3 seats. The rear seat has what is presumably a separate leg rest. More relatable was the EX Vision, which previews an idea for a large 6-seater flagship SUV. Autohome says the car's HMI is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8397 Plus chip. It will also feature swivel seats and will ride on a 900-volt electric platform and come with hydraulic suspension and all-scene off-road capability. 4-wheel steering reportedly allows tank turns. The show marked the first public appearance of the Exeed EX7, which launched around a week ago. Following on from this, Exeed displayed the forthcoming EX9. It's not clear whether it will be available only as an EREV, but that version will feature a 7th generation 2.0T engine with 45.95% thermal efficiency and an 800-volt hybrid architecture. It will also feature dual-chamber air suspension, magnetorheological suspension, rear-wheel steering, and brake-by-wire. Inside, rear occupants will gain a 21.4-inch entertainment screen, and there is a 3,000-watt 31-speaker sound system. Jetour, yet another Chery brand focused on off-road style cars, also had a strong showing. First there was the TX, a compact SUV, expected to launch in late 2026. It measures around 4,400mm in length, with a wheelbase above 2,700mm. As an EV, it will come with Chery's Rhino battery, offering a 500km, 310-mile plus range. It will feature intelligent electric 4-wheel drive. The TX has Falcon 500 driving assistance and will come with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8155 chip. Clearly channeling Land Rover vibes, the T8 made its first public appearance and is intended to be Jetour's forthcoming flagship, likely to launch in the first half of next year. Over 5 meters long, the car has a wheelbase of around 3 meters. As a PHEV, it will offer a pure electric range of 300 kilometers, 186 miles, and a comprehensive range of over 1,300 kilometers, 800 miles. iCar, yet another SUV-focused Chery brand, showcased its Robox concept car. Billed as a robotaxi, it uses the new iSwift 3.0 1000-volt architecture, which is compatible with both solid-state and current lithium-based batteries. New axial flux motors greatly reduce the volume and weight of the electric drive system. Coupled with AI dynamic control algorithms, the system can adjust in real time to road conditions and terrain. Chery claims that the car supports unsupervised L3 and L4 self-driving scenarios. Chinese media refers to it as a one-box design. In Chinese, a hatchback is called two-box, 两厢, and a sedan, three-box, 三厢. The name Robox apparently comes from the combination of robot and box, and the car is an SUV concept. One Chery car that, as far as I can see, has not been mentioned by Chinese media is the Omoda 4. It slots into the export-oriented Omoda range as the brand's smallest SUV to date. It is a hybrid that uses a 1.5T engine and a self-charging 1.83 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Auto Express claims there will also be an all-electric version joining at a later date to the SHS-H hybrid-powered one. Geely showcased its Eva Cab in Beijing. It's China's first purpose-built robotaxi designed from the ground up for Level 4 autonomous ride-hailing rather than adapted from a production car. It features a fully driverless layout with no steering wheel, a face-to-face 4-seat cabin, and wide electric sliding doors for easy passenger access. The interior is designed for shared mobility, prioritizing space efficiency and durability over traditional luxury features. Under the skin, it runs a dedicated Level 4 autonomous driving architecture built on Geely's full-domain AI system, combining a world action model with end-to-end decision-making to handle complex urban scenarios without human input. The hardware is extremely advanced, featuring over 43 perception sensors, including the world's first 2160-line digital LiDAR. It has an ultra-high imaging capability of 25.92 million points per second and a maximum detection range of 600 meters. It's supplemented by high-resolution cameras, delivering full 360-degree coverage. The Eva Cab will come equipped with what Geely says is the industry's first mass-produced L4 autonomous driving software solution, GASD L4. Eva Cab uses Geely's EEA 4.0 platform, which the company claims is the world's first quantum-level AI EE architecture. A production version is planned for 2027 for use by Geely's Cao ride-hailing company. Overall, the Eva Cab is less of a concept car and more of a preview of Geely's robotaxi strategy, a dedicated autonomous vehicle designed for mass ride-hailing rather than private ownership. Staying with the broader Geely Holdings Group, Smart, the joint venture between Geely and Mercedes-Benz, showcased the number 2. Disappointingly, this was only the concept rather than the production version. We'll need to wait for the Paris show to see that. What we do know, however, is that it will feature a 400-kilometre, 249-mile range, which blows other microcar competition off the road. Hongqi dates back to 1958 as China's very first car brand. At the Beijing show, it unveiled its second-generation H7. The new car features a PHEV powertrain centered on 1.5T engine with 110 kilowatts, 148 horsepower. Details of the electric motor are currently unknown. The battery uses NCM chemistry. The car is 5,060mm long with a wheelbase of 2,970mm. Width is 1,910mm and height is 1,480mm. The original H7 was the start of the turnaround for Hongqi. Last year, the brand as a whole sold over 460,000 units, and the parent company FAW is likely hoping to further boost this number with the new model. Hongqi also debuted its first hardcore off-road car, which appears to be simply called off-road, Yue, according to the signage. Not much is known about the car, which has previously been codenamed P567. It uses an EREV powertrain in which a 2.0T engine acts as a generator. 4 electric motors provide a total of 620 kilowatts, 831 horsepower, and 1,320 newton meters of torque. Acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 0 to 62 miles per hour is quoted at 4.5 seconds. All-electric range is 280 kilometers, 174 miles. And the comprehensive range is 1,350 kilometers, 839 miles. It's believed the car will launch in the second half of the year, and its body-on-frame structure is likely to be exported to markets that prefer proper off-roaders. Without going into too many details, Volkswagen is a huge mess in China. In 2019, VW decided to make the Jetta a standalone brand with one of its joint venture partners, FAW. It spun out the China-only Jetta, which by that stage was most closely related to a Skoda Rapide, and added a few SUVs aimed at younger, more price-sensitive buyers. The rationale was that in its Mark II form, the Jetta had been a China legend and could thereby hold brand kudos. Hint, it didn't. Last year, Jetta sold all of 118,011 vehicles, and to date, they have all been ICE budget models. The Jetta X-Concept marks a significant shift, with the brand making a clear move into the electric era. At the unveiling on April 21, Volkswagen also laid out its plans to boost sales to over 400,000 a year. A concept, the Jetta X adopts what Volkswagen calls a new, modern, robust design language, moving away from the softer, more conventional shapes of previous models towards something much more upright and rugged. The body is boxy, with short overhangs, pronounced wheel arches, and heavy black cladding around the lower sections. Narrow LED light signatures at the front and rear, along with details like red tow hooks and skid plate style trim, give it a slightly off-road oriented look, even though it remains a very much road-focused SUV. Earlier this year, FAW Volkswagen established Jetta Automotive Technology Company, giving the brand more R&D autonomy. At the unveiling, Jetta also showcased its electric platform, which claims features such as 5-star safety and cell-to-pack battery technology. Plans call for 5 new models by 2028, 4 of which will be what China calls new energy vehicles, meaning all-electric or PHEV. Presumably, Jetta is aiming to take on the likes of Wuling and Leapmotor. The reality is that the 400,000 sales target is almost certainly unattainable. Jetta should never have been created as a standalone brand in the first place, and is now completely irrelevant. Moving on to launches, the Luxeed V9 made its official debut at the Beijing Auto Show as the first MPV from Huawei's Harmony Intelligent Mobility Alliance, HIMA, having been introduced a few days earlier at the HIMA Spring Press Conference. Luxeed is a brand created through the collaboration between Huawei and Chery, and the V9 is the third model after the S7 sedan and the R7 SUV. In terms of size, it's a large MPV at 5,359mm long with a 3,250mm wheelbase. The width is 2,009mm and the height is 1,879mm. Rear wheel steering gives the car a 5.35 metre turning radius. The V9 is designed to maximise interior space rather than exterior styling, with a focus on flexibility and second-row comfort. The zero-gravity seats can recline and rotate up to 180 degrees, enabling a face-to-face layout. The cabin includes a triple-screen front setup, a roof-mounted rear display, and a built-in refrigerator. The V9 also introduces new interaction features, including projection headlights and automated welcome lighting that can trigger door opening and seat rotation as passengers approach. Under the skin, it uses Huawei's 1.5T Snowy Owl range extender system and a battery capacity of up to 53 kWh, delivering a combined range of over 1,250 kilometers, 777 miles. Overall, the Luxeed V9 is less about being a traditional MPV and more about redefining the segment by combining long-range electrified power, high-end comfort, and Huawei's software ecosystem into what is effectively a mobile living space. Pre-sales pricing was revealed, ranging from 399,800 yuan to 529,800 yuan, 58,500 to 77,500 US dollars, placing it firmly in the high-end MPV segment and alongside other premium Chinese people carriers. It's claimed that the V9 is the first car to use electromagnetic thermal control die casting technology in its production. Through the use of an electromagnetic field, it changes the viscous, yogurt-like aluminium liquid into a high fluidity, milk-like one. This means that the filling process can be slowed from 0.1 seconds to 5 seconds, Furthermore, the inner wall of the mould is covered with a special nanothermal control layer, which ensures a uniform flow of aluminium liquid during filling. The result of these innovations is that the porosity of die casting parts is greatly reduced and the density is increased, which translates into greater body strength. Days before the Beijing show, the Aito M6 was launched on April 22nd. The M6 is the latest addition to the Aito range, which is the most successful brand by far in Huawei's Haima network. It slots neatly between the M5 and M7 and clearly resembles other cars in the family with its rounded look, a full-width light bar and relatively restrained detailing. It is the largest Aito SUV, available only as a 5-seater. The M6 measures just under 5 metres at 4,960mm with a wheelbase of 2,950mm. Width is 1,985mm and height is 1,736mm. Given these dimensions, perhaps the most surprising feature is how big the frunk is on the all-electric version, a massive 202 litres, enough for a 24-inch and a 20-inch suitcase. Furthermore, it comes with drainage holes and LED lights. Storage is one of the M6's main selling points. There are 35 storage spaces around the car, including a 42-litre hidden space under the trunk floor. The trunk itself offers up to a very generous 882 litres. Aito is selling various accessories to turn the space into a clothes rack or a bicycle storage area. Second-row passengers benefit from up to 980mm of legroom. The dashboard supports a 16.1-inch central infotainment unit, while the driver gets an 8.88-inch instrument cluster and a 26.1-inch head-up display. For rear passengers, there's an optional ceiling-mounted 17.3-inch screen. Huawei's Harmony OS controls in-car functions. As is normal with Aito, the M6 has both all-electric and range-extended versions. The latter is available only with dual motors and uses a 1.5T engine as the range extender. Power to the wheels comes from 165 kilowatt, 221 horsepower front and 180 kilowatt, 241 horsepower rear electric motors. The Max Plus has a 37 kilowatt-hour battery pack, while the Ultra uses a larger 52.4 kilowatt-hour pack. All-electric range is up to 355 kilometers, 220 miles, and the comprehensive range is 1,605 kilometers, 997 miles. The Max Plus version of the all-electric car uses a single 227 kilowatt, 304 horsepower rear motor, and when coupled with a 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack, it provides up to 760 kilometers, 472 miles of range using China's Light-Duty Vehicle Testing Cycle, CLTC. While the Ultra uses the same battery pack, its range is reduced to 705 kilometers, 438 miles, due to the dual motor setup of 160 kilowatt, 215 horsepower front and 180 kilowatt, 241 horsepower rear. As expected, the M6 comes with Huawei's Qiankun ADS system for smart driving. The car features an 896-line forward-facing LiDAR unit, a rear-facing high-precision solid-state LiDAR, and a suite of 28 other sensors. This setup enables high-level perception of the surrounding environment and supports advanced assisted driving functions. The focus is on improving reliability in more challenging conditions, where camera-only systems can struggle. Prices start at 259,800 yuan and range up to 299,800. That's 38,050 to 43,900 USD. The Avatr 06T is the wagon version of the 06 sedan. and in a market dominated by SUVs, it stands out simply by existing. Visually, the design remains very close to the standard 06, with most changes concentrated at the rear. Unlike earlier Avatr models that controversially removed the rear window entirely, the 06T brings it back, along with a hidden rear wiper integrated under the roof spoiler. The result is a more practical and conventional layout without losing the futuristic styling the brand is known for. Avatr claims the new wagon's shape is inspired by a peregrine falcon and calls the look future sports aesthetics. I'm not entirely convinced. In terms of size, the 06T is quite large. It measures 4,940mm in length with a wheelbase of 2,940mm, making it noticeably larger than the sedan and providing improved rear headroom and cargo space. It also measures 1,960mm in width and 1,455mm in height. Unlike the sedan version, the wagon features new semi-hidden handles to comply with China's forthcoming door handle regulations. Avatr is a collaborative brand between Chang'an, Huawei, and battery producer CATL. It is not part of Huawei's Haimer ecosystem, and unlike CATL, Huawei does not own any equity in the brand. Nonetheless, the car features many Huawei features, and the cockpit runs the Harmony Space 5, also known as the Harmony OS Cockpit System 5. This not only runs the screens, but also controls AI vehicle functions and the voice assistant. Dominating the dashboard is a 35.4-inch 4K panoramic ring screen and a 15.6-inch floating central infotainment unit. There are two additional 6.7-inch screens for the camera-based side view system. Unfortunately, there is no head-up display. The wagon body significantly increases the car's practicality over the 06 sedan, with 517 litres of trunk space and a flat load area when the rear seats are folded, extending to more than 2 metres in depth. There are 5 versions of the Avatr 06T, but only one is range extended, while the other 4 are all electric. The lone EREV uses a 1.5-litre turbocharged engine purely as a generator. Power to the wheels comes from dual rear-mounted electric motors with a total of 370 kilowatts, 496 horsepower. Juice is supplied via a 46.7 kilowatt-hour 5C battery pack, which can provide 330 kilometers, 205 miles of all-electric range. Most of the all-electric versions come with a dual rear motor setup as well, but they have significantly more power than the EREV version. The base Elite model has 450 kilowatts, 603 horsepower, and with its 75.5 kilowatt-hour battery pack has a 652 kilometer, 405 mile range. All other versions up the dual rear motors to combined power of 502 kilowatts, 673 horsepower, which with the 89.3 kilowatt-hour battery pack provides 741 kilometers, 461 miles of range. Finally, the performance version adds a 210 kilowatt, 202 horsepower motor to the front, meaning total power is 712 kilowatts, 955 horsepower. This setup reduces range to 680 kilometers, 423 miles. On the driving assistance side, the car uses Huawei's Qiankun ADS-4 system. The entry version uses a cabin-mounted LiDAR system, whereas all others use a Huawei 896 line next-generation LiDAR integrated into the roof. These provide the car with comprehensive assisted self-driving capabilities. Prices start at 219,900 yuan and range up to 279,900, which is 32,200 to 41,000 in US dollar terms. Avatr sales have recently faltered, and Chang'an must be hoping that the 06T will help inject some momentum. This week, Chang'an announced it would integrate the operations of the Avatr and Deepal brands to control costs and streamline the supply chain and other operations. Wagons have generally not proved very popular in China. One of the few EV successors with this body style has been the touring version of the Neo ET5. Avatr is exported, and it may well be that the wagon has been designed more with these markets in mind than the domestic one. And finally, one piece of news which was in Chinese media that I found quite amusing caught my eye earlier this week. I've driven quite a lot of Chinese cars, and I've never experienced one yet where I could fully communicate with it in English. Some understand a few words with the voice control systems of English, but generally you have to speak to them in Chinese. And that's exactly the situation that a lot of Africans are finding themselves with Chinese cars that have been exported to Africa. And so we have a video of Africans teaching themselves Chinese so as to be able to speak to their car. So maybe Chinese cars are a great way of learning Chinese. Well, tell us what you think.
Once you know how to speak Chinese, and you can control this car very well.
Ni hao copy. Guampi, show your change on.
You see, all the window is closed. Oh, you see, this car is teaching you how to speak in Chinese.
Yes.
And that is all. You can control most of them. 车窗、遮阳帘、音乐。音乐 is music.
Thank you for watching this week's bumper show regarding the Beijing Auto Show. If there's a car you would like me to have covered, let me know in the comments section and I will try and cover it in next week's show where I'll be mopping up a lot of these stories regarding the Beijing Auto Show. Also, please remember to hit that subscribe button and give us a like as well. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.